Hey, Mary Grace. Hey, Mary Grace. How are you doing this evening? How are things in New York? By the way, before I forget, have you heard anything from Thomas yet? I've been calling and texting every day. Calling goes straight to voicemail, doesn't even ring once. And texting, he hadn't responded all week. And that needs to be enough coughing. I don't need to do what I did last week. However, if I do, got the remedy. Oh, me. So far, it looks like it's just you and me. Hey, Bobby, how you doing tonight? Or this afternoon? So far, it's just you and Mary Grace. Well, actually, her on YouTube, it's Nona Grace and me so far. D and D are here. How y'all doing? What's this? Hello, sir. You're as old as I am, or right at it. Not quite, but close. How y'all doing, Dave, Darcy? Bobby, are you a subscriber? Did the notification pop up because you're a subscriber, or every once in a while they will just randomly throw one out there? I don't think I've seen you here on the live before. If this is your first time here, it's every Sunday at 6 o'clock. It's every Sunday at 6 o'clock, and the topic concentration here is homesteading. All sorts of different things about homesteading, different skills you need to be a homesteader, things like that. Going to give it a few minutes for some other people to come on in. Officially, it starts at 6 o'clock, but usually it's about 6:05 before all the regulars come in, and then every once in a while we pick up a new one like you, and you're on time. Oh, me. What part of the country are you from, Bobby? I'm in North Georgia, about in a straight line, about 35 miles, 40 miles south of the Tennessee line. Mary Grace is up there in extreme western New York. Dave and Darcy at Two Cedars Micro Farm, they're over in Alabama. I'm glad you're here and you're a new one to the live stream. Because tonight I'm not going to talk about anything specific about homestead. I'm going to ask y'all some questions, and somebody that this is the first time here, that's it just cut off and cut back on. Let's see. See if it stays. Nothing wrong with Ohio, Bobby. I was born at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base over by Dayton. Josh is here. How you doing, Josh? In your yard homestead is Josh. He's from down under, Bobby. Um, let's see. Kayla, you're here. Kayla Sisson, that's my daughter-in-law. She's in here. And Kayla, I hate to disappoint you, but I needed a big cup tonight, so I'm not using yours like I have the last couple of weeks. I needed 40 ounces of 1950s Haymaker's Punch, also known as Switchel. Y'all are getting kind of cold up there, aren't you, Mary Grace? From what I saw, the weather, it's kind of chilly up in your part of the country. It was almost 70 degrees down here, and the next few nights, we're going to be in the upper 50s and 60s for the low at night. but it got up close to 70 today. And I want y'all to notice something. Yes, spring is coming. You know what the proof is? Right there. Right there. That's the proof. This is the first time in a while. That's French doors out the back of the yurt. And usually it is full dark out there by the time we start this show at 6 o'clock. Notice, it's not dark yet. Yes, spring is coming. Let's see. Well, Bobby, sounds like you'll fit right in. Because here it's not hardcore, I'm a homesteader. Everybody that's in here does homesteading stuff without making a big deal about it. Let me see what I'm missing here. When I'm looking over there, that's where my laptop is, and it's got all the chat on it. Windy in the low 30s. I know you were out with the chickens all day long in that weather, weren't you, Nona Grace? Shane's in the house, Kinfolk Farm of Georgia. How you doing today, Shane? Oh, by the way, that turtle of yours is something else. If y'all haven't been over to Kinfolk Farm of Georgia's YouTube channel, his most recent video, unless he's put one up since yesterday, his most recent video is of their house dog. The only trouble is, their house dog's not a dog. It's a turtle. Turtle's about that big around. Now, Shane, I want you to tell them how you feed him. Bobby, on healthy food, I mean, this time of year it's hard to grow stuff unless you got a greenhouse or something. On healthy food, look at I think it was the last video I did or the next last video I did. It was the next last video I did on my channel. Somebody pipe in here with what the name of that video was about the box of food. I found a place where you can, it's kind of like a CSA, but not really. And I got stuff that would not be growing this time of year, and it's good, healthy fruits and vegetables, and it's reasonably priced. I think it was the first time I've gotten it. I'm going to get it another time and compare the two and see what I think of it and do another video and let you know for sure. But look 2 videos back and you'll see a way to get good healthy vegetables and fruits during the winter that are grown here in the States. It's not stuff shipped in from South America. A motorcycle ride when it was 30 degrees and windy. Mary Grace, you're braver than I am. Oh, me. Yep, that's what I meant, Shane. Shane has, you know how when you've got dogs, you've got a little feeding station, you got their water bowl and you got their bowl of food. Well, Shane over at Kinfolk Farm of Georgia, he's got the same thing. He's got his dog's food dish and water dish. And then there's the plate for Thor, the tortoise. He's not really a turtle. I think Shane said he was a tortoise. And Shane's got a video out the other day that he took his GoPro, I don't know if it's a GoPro or just a GoPro style action camera. I can't afford GoPros. I use cheap knockoffs. But you know those headbands you can get for them where you can wear the camera around your head where it's first person view of everything? Well, Shane took that GoPro and put it on a headband and then put the headband around the tortoise. And you see the tortoise going all over the house. You've got a first person view of Thor eating lunch. It's hilarious. Patricia, you're in the house. How you doing? Yeah, weird food in this box. That's the video you want to go watch, Bobby. And you might want to wait about a week and a half. I'll get my second box. You can order those boxes to come weekly or every other week. And you can order a box that size, or you can order one about 8 pounds heavier, I think it is, depending on how big your family is and how many fruits and vegetables you need. But I'll get my second box here in about 10 days, and I'll do another video and let y'all know that, they can do a great job the first time and might really be lousy. They might do a terrible job, drop the ball on the first one, and then it turns out they're good. So I'll be doing another video, give y'all my opinion after getting 2 boxes. And I appreciate it. Let's see, Mary Grace chimed in the comments on that video, and Kayla chimed in on that video, and I think Patricia did. Didn't you comment on that video, Patricia? Because there was something in there I'd never seen before. Well, actually, there were 2 things in there I'd never seen before, but one of them had a little sticker on it. It said what it was. Kind of squash, and I forget what kind of squash it was. But the other thing that was in there, it looked kind of like a real stubby, short head of, I'm drawing a total blank. A little head of whatever. But the leaves were wrong, and it turned out it's bok choy. Kayla told me about it and what to do with it, and Mary Grace told me about it and what to do with it, and I think Patricia did too, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Bobby, you have come to the right place. If you're interested in hardcore keto, Mary Grace is your lady to talk to. I think I'm the only one that's in here right now that does live streams, Bobby. Almost everybody in here, well, Patricia, I don't think has a channel. Kayla, I don't, celery, yeah, Kayla, celery, that's what I was trying to think of. The bok choy looked like celery, but the leaves were wrong. Kayla, actually, you do have a channel, you just don't put anything on it. Don't you, Kayla? I'm not sure. That's okay, Josh. I appreciate you stopping by. I didn't even know you had a channel till last week. I don't know why, but I didn't. But I've been cruising around some of your videos. That little ride, let's see, I started to say ride around out there. You're in Australia, so that little walkabout you did in that vehicle, that was fun. I can't believe how dry it looks out there. But you really need to get them to take that vehicle back to the dealer. Get them to put that steering wheel on the correct side, because it's on the wrong side of your truck right now. Oh, me. Nona Grace, I hate to use this as an example, but because I hate Nike. I hate Nike with a passion, and I'm not going to go into that very far, because then I'd be into politics, and I don't do politics on this channel. But don't worry about getting up the nerve to go live. Like Nike says, their slogan, just do it. Well, Kayla, text me or preferably email, since I don't do anything on the phone except for this and use it as a phone. Email me the address, or put it here in the chat. Put the URL to your webpage. I'd be interested in reading that. Patricia, you like listening to people who know what they're talking about. Are you sure you're at the right channel here? Because some people would say that I don't have a clue what I'm talking about. No, Josh. It's on the wrong side, and you drive on the wrong side of the road down there. If I came to Australia, I'd be in a wreck twice a day for 6 months. It'd take my license really fast, probably. Yeah, Two Seaters has a channel, and they do live streams on Mondays. You did a couple this past week doing some testing after working on your computer, didn't you, Dave? Patricia, the only reason I know anything about homesteading is I have tried everything and failed at all the stuff that doesn't work, and all that was left was the stuff that did. I've everything that I do right, I have tried to do before and done it wrong about 4 times before I came around to the right way to do it. But I'm a firm believer that you haven't failed until you quit. When you quit, you failed. Failure is actually good, and it's not always really failure. My favorite example of that is Thomas Edison. Do you know how many different experiments Thomas Edison did before he actually came up with the light bulb when he was trying to invent the light bulb? Over 2,000 iterations of the light bulb before he finally hit on one that works. And some of the stuff that were his failures on the light bulb were actually successes. I know most of the people in here we're not youngsters, okay? We're not old and feeble, but we're not youngsters. Some are, like Kayla, she's young, but young folks wouldn't remember them. But all of us old folks remember the light bulb. You put the bulb in the little thing on the camera, when you pushed the button, it went poof. And remember how crinkly the skin on it was after it went poof? That was because there was oxygen inside the light bulb. And one of Thomas Edison's attempts at making a light bulb. Okay, it kicked me off, but we don't have to start over. I'm back. But anyway, that was one of Thomas Edison's failures, was trying to make a light bulb, and he wound up making a flash bulb. So the failure wasn't really a failure. Let's see. Did y'all get all of that, or did it kick me off while I was talking and I didn't notice it? Well, Bobby, you were a year older than me until Thursday. I turned 65 Thursday. Hey there, June. How are you doing over there in Cartersville? Isn't the weather so much better today than it was yesterday and last night? It poured up here in down here in North Georgia. It poured here most of yesterday, and last night the wind was horrendous. Or it quit about midnight. But up until then, we were looking at 20, 25 mile an hour steady wind and gusts up to 40. It was a mess around here. And then today, pretty blue sky, poofy white clouds. Like I say, the temperature was up about between 65 and 70 degrees. Absolutely beautiful. And it's going to rain again tomorrow. You just got power back? It went out last night, June. See you, Josh. You have a great week, okay? And take care of yourself, and always remember those 2 things I put at the end of my videos. I'll do it at the end of this video too, but since you're leaving, I'll just remind you, the tomb was empty. He is alive. See you next week. Have a great week. Now, oh, Bobby and June are friends. Cool. Well, kinfolk, the wind you didn't get, you sent up here, because it was bad around here. What's funny is we went to Walmart about 5 o'clock yesterday. I had to run over to Chatsworth to check on my cows, and coming back we stopped at Walmart. We got there about 5 o'clock, and it was gray, but I didn't think anything bad was going to happen. Got in Walmart and I hadn't been in there 30 seconds. And Cindy's still sitting out in the car. She works there, so she isn't going in on her day off. She said she sees that place enough. So I go in and I hadn't been inside 30 seconds, and all of a sudden I can hear rain on the roof at Walmart. It's got to be raining to hear it inside. And it wasn't 2 minutes later until you couldn't hear people talking inside of Walmart. It was raining that hard. And I wasn't getting much, and I got up to self-checkout and checked out, and I go out into the little foyer area where they have the carts between the outside doors and the inside doors. Everybody was in the foyer but backed up against the doors closest to the store because the wind had blown the front doors off the hinges and rain was blowing 20 feet into the store. And when it finally slacked up and Cindy pulled around in front to pick me up because it was still raining, but it had slacked up. She said that the car was just shaking unreal while I was in the store, that it was storming that bad and the wind was blowing that bad. She said the car was just a rocking and a rolling sitting there. Let's see. When I'm talking to y'all over here, I'm not keeping up over here. Bobby, you do lives and videos? I'll have to come check your channel out. If you must not have ever commented on any of my videos either, because usually if I see a new commenter on my videos that has a channel, I go over and check it out and see what it's all about. Trying to watch, but buffering bad. Hey, Lynn, I didn't even know you were in here. Is it buffering bad for everybody else too? Or is it Lynn's internet? My goat, for Bobby, you might know her. You knew June Carden. My Goat Shed Life. She's a homesteader type out in Texas. Lives in a goat shed. Just ask her, she'll tell you. "24-hour-long lives." I can't imagine. Now, I could see, I don't know. We had all of Cindy's family over here for Christmas. There was obviously Cindy and me and Sarah, and Cindy's other daughter, Brandy, and her daughter, and then Kayla, who's in the channel here, Kayla and her husband, Jeremy, and their 3 kids. And this is a yurt, okay, 750 square feet total. And a fourth of that's taken up by bathroom. I got an unreal big bathroom. Not all that big, but for the yurt, it's big. But we were all in here, and I had thought about setting up a camera and just doing a live of Christmas dinner. And I decided, no, that'd be kind of boring. And my reasoning for doing it was wrong. I figured that'd be a good way to pick up a lot of extra watch time, which would boost my channel a little bit. Wouldn't make any doesn't make any extra money when you do that, I don't think, but it just gets your watch time up, which gets YouTube to promote your channel more. And that would be the wrong reason to do it, so I didn't do it. But I thought about it, but I can't imagine a 24-hour live stream. Yeah, Mary Grace, she is a blast. Let's see. Word Wednesday is good. And what is it? Friday Funnies. I like those two. No, Dave, I haven't heard from Tom, and I don't think Mary Grace has either. I call him every day and goes straight to voicemail, doesn't even ring. And I text him every day, and he never responds. And if Dawn has a phone, I don't have her number. I don't know what's going on. Um, I've tried to get hold of him. Mary Grace has tried to get hold of him. He'll show up, I hope. Shane, what does he do? 24-hour lives of goat pens? That's right. Jackie's real close to him, isn't she, Mary Grace? I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. I hope nothing happened to him. Maybe he just got tired of YouTube. I don't know. His last video is over a month old. Well, thank you, June. You were talking to Bobby, but thank you. You only stop in at one live and it's mine. I appreciate that. Mary Grace, I'm sure she does. I'm sure Dawn has a phone, but I don't have her number. Maybe somebody else does. Dave, do you and Darcy have Dawn's phone number? Oh, y'all have heard from Dawn on Facebook, and Tom's sick. Nothing about what's wrong or how bad or when we can expect to see him back or nothing like that? While we're having this conversation, in the middle of the conversation, I kind of want to hit the title of this live stream, 2020 topic planning, and it's all on you. Yes, it's all on you. I want to know what y'all want to see on my videos. The videos I do and upload, and the live streams. I can sit here and talk about stuff all day long. Y'all know that. There's no limit to how long I can talk. But when I do videos on homesteading, I might be doing videos about my pigs. Y'all'd rather hear about how to build a fence where it doesn't fall down. How to build a fence where you're not having to rebuild it every couple of years. Or I might be doing videos on my cows. And y'all want to know how to repair a chainsaw. I might be doing videos on chickens. And y'all would rather know how to build a smokehouse. So I think I can save and download the chat. I think I can come back to it after this is all over and save and download the chat as a text document. If I can't, I can certainly cut and paste and go through it and see what y'all had to say about it. Because I'm not real good at keeping up with the chat and talking to y'all. And even if I was good at doing it, I'd forget it by the end of this. So if y'all are putting in the chat topics that you think I should do, stuff you would like to see videos on, I might just not do them, and I'll tell you, well, you wanted to see how to grow mangoes. I'll tell you, I don't have a clue. Won't be a video on that because I don't have a clue. On the other hand, you might ask me about microgreens or asparagus. Now we're talking about something I can do a video on. But I don't want to be doing videos just for the sake of doing videos. Several of y'all have said you actually enjoy the videos as far as entertainment, and that's great, because I want this channel to be two things, not one. I want it to be two things. I want it to be informative, and I want it to be entertaining. Well, I've got the entertaining covered. I figure when y'all sit here watching a toothless redneck pig farmer, you got to be laughing your rear ends off. There, the entertaining is covered. I want it to be informative, and that means I've got to be doing stuff that y'all want to see. Something you want to learn, something that you already know how to do, but you want to see how I do it, because maybe I do it a little bit different, and you might like my way better than your way. I don't know. But put in the chat what you would like to see videos on, and go into a little bit of detail. Don't just say chickens. What do you want? You want to know what breeds I raise, which right now I don't have any, but I'm about to order some next week. Do you want to know what breeds of chickens I raise, or do you want to know, do I raise meat birds or layers, or what do you want to know about? Don't just say chickens. Do you want to know about goats? Don't have goats, hadn't had goats for 10 years, but I did have a 20 goat dairy. Had Sonnens, which is a breed of goat, produced about a gallon of milk a day each, and I had 20 milkers, and I was producing 20 gallons of milk a day. And between the milk I sold and the cheese I made and sold, it was a nice, profitable little business. Don't ever want to have another goat, though, not a milker. But tell me what you'd like to see videos on. Let's see. Now I got to go look at the chat again, see what I'm missing. Just that he is sick. Well, maybe we'll hear a little bit more, Dave. Yeah, Shane, I know you want to know about pigs. Oh. Yurt videos. Okay, I've hesitated some on that, Shane, because I am the world's worst about getting a project 90% done and then it doesn't look real finished. I mean, my yurt's finished as far as living in it. I've been living in this thing. Let's see. The first night I laid my head down and went to sleep in this yurt was September 28th of 2009. So I've been in here 11 years. And I'll tell you right now, I'll tell you the short answer on yurts. I get asked this question now. If I knew before I ever bought this, I bought the yurt, I ordered the kit in April of 2009. And I get asked if I knew then, if I knew in March, a month before I ordered the yurt, if I knew in March what I know now about living in a yurt, would I still have ordered the yurt? And the answer is an unqualified, unhesitating yes. I love this place. Part of what I like about it is the weird factor. Where do you live? Oh, I live in a yurt. What's that? I've gotten to the point I just tell people I live in a circus tent. But part of it's the weird factor, but I like this place. I really do. Now, it's a little cozy with 3 people living in it, 3 adults living in it, but it works. And yes, I like yurts, and I'll do more yurt videos. I just hesitated because I got it livable and I didn't finish a lot of stuff. For example, up there at the front of the yurt, I am 4 feet off the ground. Back here at the back, I'm 8 feet off the ground. There's that much slope. My yurt's not underpinned. It's just sitting up on the pillars that I put it on. I put it on 6x6s that were on concrete piers that stuck up that were 2 feet in the ground and 6 inches out of the ground. And then a 6x6 up to the bottom of the yurt. That's what you see when you drive up. I never have underpinned it. And I've hesitated to do yurt videos because of that. But I will do some of them because I know people are interested in yurts. Let's see. Patricia, I'll be getting started on the microgreens here in the next, well, the first thing you'll see is, okay, let me back up a little bit. Last October, not October 2019, October of 2018. It was either the last week of September, first week of October. I got the frame up for my microgreen greenhouse, small greenhouse, 8 feet wide, 20 feet long. And you can grow enough microgreens in that to produce about a $500 a week income. But I got the framework up of the greenhouse. I got the plastic ordered to go on it. I ordered seeds and promptly got diagnosed with cancer. That's right after that. I mean, all there in a 2-week span. The microgreens quit right then. The framework is still up out there. The plastic has never come out of the box. It's up in the loft. And I've still got the seeds sitting over there on a shelf. I have no idea if they're any good. I'm going to have to, as a matter of fact, I was planning on contacting Todd Seeds, which is where I got them from. I'm going to contact them tomorrow, explain what happened, ask them if these seeds are going to be any good or if I'm going to need to replace them. Because I don't want to waste my time trying to grow with seeds that are no good anymore. I got seeds for 4 different microgreens. But microgreens is about to get started again. Like I say, I've got everything. I just got to do it. And we got pretty good weather for the next couple of days, and then starting next Saturday, we got several days of bone-chilling weather, lows in the 20s. Yes, Mary Grace, we call that bone-chilling here. Lows in the 20s. Once that breaks, I know it'll still be late January, but I'm going to go ahead and start getting it all going on the microgreen. So there will be microgreen videos, starting with finishing the microgreen greenhouse. Oh, and Patricia, that's the cool thing about microgreens. No seeds, no soil, no fertilizer. The growing medium is basically soil that is sterile. You grow them in sterile soil. Everything a plant needs to get up to and just past the cotyledon stage. The cotyledon stage on microgreen, like if you're growing bean sprouts or peas or sunflower seed shoots, if you're growing any of those, the cotyledon stage is when it comes up and those first 2 leaves come out. Those are not leaves. They're called cotyledons. After that, everything is leaves. Well, everything your microgreens need to grow to and past the cotyledon stage and get up to about 6 inches, all those nutrients are in the seed. You plant the seed in a sterile environment, water it, keep it lit properly, and it grows. And 10 days later, you have a saleable product. Let's see. You know, June, I've got a lot of pictures. I don't know where they're on a hard drive somewhere. But I wasn't doing videos when I was building this place. I wish I had videoed the whole thing. I really do. I've got pictures because at the time I didn't have a YouTube channel. I did have I still do have a website, and I was documenting the construction on that website, and the website wouldn't let me host videos on it. I didn't think about YouTube and putting a link over the website. All I thought was shoot video, upload it to my upload it to HostGator, which is the company that I get my hosting from for my website. And because videos take so many resources, HostGator, unless you have one of their expensive accounts, won't let you host videos there. So I was doing still images. I wish I had all of it videoed. God, I wish I had all of it videoed. Wait, somebody asked what a yurt was, Patricia? I missed that. Like I said, I live in a circus tent. Yeah, June, that no corners thing is hard to get used to, but you learn to deal with it. And I do have a few corners in here because I've got two straight walls. You come in the front door over there. I've got a 13-foot long hallway that has the kitchen on that side, and that's open. There's about a 4-foot high set of cabinets along that hallway. You see over the cabinets into the kitchen. And on this side is a 13-foot wall. At the end of that 13-foot wall, there's another 13-foot wall. And that 13 by 13 section over there in that corner is my bathroom, and which means I've got a corner where each wall hits the side of the earth. And also over the bathroom is a loft. That loft has served as bedroom for my son when he was living here before Cindy and I got married. It has served as a sleeping loft for my stepdaughter after Cindy and I got married. Right now it is storage. But there's a couple walls in here, so you have corners. I got a breakfast bar on that side from between the kitchen and the dining area. And the breakfast bar, where it hits the wall, there's corners there. So there's a few corners in here, but not many. Bobby, I appreciate that. I like it when people check out my videos and check out the channel. And I before you go checking out all my videos, I want to make a deal with you. Give me feedback. I always tell people at the end of my videos, if you like the videos, give me a thumbs up. And if you don't like them, I want a thumbs down, but I also want an explanation of what's wrong with them so I can make them better. The only way I can do videos that y'all like and want and enjoy is knowing what I'm doing right and knowing what I'm doing wrong. So the feedback at the bottom of videos, I really appreciate. Because about the only here recently in the last 6 months, I've started getting better feedback. But up until 6 months ago, the only feedback I got mostly was, well, let's see. There is the video that I have the most views of all of my videos, how to castrate piglets. I get comments on there. It's for all the petatypes. You don't need to do that to pigs. That's mean to pigs. You're being cruel to animals. That kind of feedback I can do without. I don't delete those comments. I'll leave them there. Unless they use a lot of foul language, which some of them do. Those get thrown in the trash. But constructive criticism, how I can make the videos better or what you'd like to see that's similar but not quite, that is very much appreciated. Mary Grace, they need some light. You got to remember, I'm a newbie at microgreens. They need some light. I don't know that it's a certain number of hours. I'll know a month from now. I'll know because I'll have had my first batch grown by then, and I'll know what works and what doesn't work, and I'll still be able to refine it after that. But I'll have the basics down a month from now. Okay, so we know that we need to do videos on pigs to make shanks. Okay, it cut me off, but it just brought me back, I think. Am I there okay? Let's see. Sonny, I didn't see you come in. Is that the first thing you said, or have I missed something before? The microgreens will be a small part. What I'm planning on doing, okay? Microgreens will be grown in a greenhouse all the time. It'll have roll-up sides that'll come up about 2 feet when it needs air circulation in there. But microgreens will be strictly a greenhouse plant. Then I've got another greenhouse I've got the framework up that is 21 feet wide and 25 feet long. And right now, all it is bare dirt. And it's going to have a series of 6 beds in it. They're not truly raised. They're sort of raised beds. No firm sides on them. That I'm going to be growing. I hate to put it this way, but high-end lettuces and kale, arugula, uh, salanova, the things that high-end restaurants want. There's enough in this area, enough restaurants in this area, and there's a couple of retirement communities that have folks that really got some serious money, and there's a decent farmers market here that I can grow things like that and be able to sell them. Because one of the biggest challenges to homesteading for anybody that's out there, the we homestead because we want to get out of the rat race. We're tired of being on that wheel, running like crazy our whole lives so that we can get up in the morning in a house we can't afford, and drive a car that we can't afford to a job that we hate, so that we can sit there for 8 hours, get back in the car that we can't afford, and come back to the house that we can't afford, and do that over and over and over. One of the big attractions of homesteading is getting rid of that rat race. Well, to get rid of that rat race, you got to have a certain amount of money. You don't have to have a lot. I've said before on my live stream and in my videos, income-wise, if you count dollars, we probably are living below the poverty level. On the other hand, I think we live pretty good. We have shrimp on a regular basis. I love shrimp. Shrimp and grits, that is some good stuff. But it takes a certain amount of money, even when you produce your own food. You can't take a dozen eggs down to the property tax office and pay your property taxes with them. You can't take a couple of chickens that you harvested over to the power company and pay your power bill. So you got to have some cash. And that's one of the biggest challenges for homesteaders, is how do I produce enough cash to do what has to be done with cash that can't be paid off with time, with effort, or with something I produce. How do I produce enough income to support the homestead financially? And microgreens, I think that's going to turn out to be one of my better choices. I raise pigs. It's probably about a break-even proposition. Probably make a little bit of money, but not enough to notice. I raise pigs because I like raising pigs. I like raising this breed of pigs. I love the little piglets. I love it when they have litter. I've told people that I raise pigs just for the piglets. We don't have enough land to really raise many pigs to full grown. We produce maybe 2 or 3 full grown pigs a year, but we produce 125, 150 piglets a year, which I then sell when they're 2 months old to people like Shane who want to raise them out for food. And we don't do it for the food so much for the money. It puts free meat in the freezer for us. And the breed I raise, large black hogs, are a very endangered species, a very, very endangered breed of pigs, and raise them to help the breed. Now, let me go back over here and see what I missed. Yeah, it would be nice if you could pay your taxes with eggs, wouldn't it, Nona Grace? You know, June, I thought about raising worms. Uh, I thought about it. We don't have a lot of fishing around here, though. There's some in streams and things like that. Stream fishing is typically, you don't use worms. Trout fishing, there's a lot of trout fishing around here, and you don't use worms. Well, you do. I forget the kind of worm. It's produced by a beetle. I forget the kind of beetle. You take a bed like a refrigerator laying on its back full of soil, and you release these uh, beetles in there, and they lay their eggs, and their larvae are, like everybody calls them worms, wax worms or something like that. Those are great for trout. And I thought about raising those. That's one project, thank the Lord, I didn't start to not finish. I am the world's worst about starting projects and not finishing them. Let's see. Sonny, the good food is the biggest reason to have a good garden. The garbage itself, I tell people stay the hell out of the middle of the grocery store. If it comes in a can, if it's packaged, it is poison. Now, you got to remember, I'm an old conservative white guy. I'm supposed to be the guy that's all for corporate and all like that. No, when it comes to food, I'm a hippie. I've got friends that say, darn, Bob, you turned 60 and turned into a hippie. The stuff in the middle of the grocery store that comes out of a factory in a can and all that is pure garbage and poison. I've always told people to shop the edges, shop the meat section, shop fruits and vegetables. But you can't really even go by that anymore. Do you know that I would say 90% of the fruits and vegetables in a store have been treated with a chemical so that you can't then use them to grow more stuff? They've been made sterile. Don't bother taking a seed out of a orange and try to grow an orange tree. It's not going to happen. Don't think you're going to cut a potato that's you bought at the local grocery store, cut it up and plant it for growing potatoes. They're not going to grow. It's been chemically treated so it can't. And I don't care to have those chemicals in me. I don't care to have the growth hormones they give to chickens and cows and pigs to produce the meat in the store. So while the edges are better than the center of the store, it's kind of the lesser of two evils. The center of the store is pure poison. The edges of the store is not quite as much poison, but close. Really, if at all possible, people should either grow their own food if they can, if they have the space and the knowledge of how. And if not, patronize your local farmers market or your local farms. If you've got farms around you, a lot of times way back before, and for the new people, I'm not going to go into where the break was, but there was a time in another life. I had 100 laying hens. People came here to my place to pick up eggs. I had one lady that was here every Tuesday morning for 12 dozen eggs. Every Tuesday morning for 12 dozen eggs. She lived in a wealthy subdivision. She and a couple of friends did a lot of baking. So she came and picked up 12 dozen eggs every Tuesday and split them up with her friends. Go to your local farms. Go to your local farmers market. You get healthier food. You're looking the producer in the eye. Corporations don't have any problems lying to you about how healthy their food is. They don't have any problem at all. When you're looking someone straight in the eye and they ask you a question about how you produced something or whatever, number one, you're not as likely to lie. And number two, if you do lie, they're looking you right in the eye. And they got a pretty good idea that you're lying. So farmers tend to be fairly honest folks anyway. So go patronize your local farmers, your local farmers market. Get your food as close to you as you can. Sure, you miss out on stuff. If you're living in, I don't know, if you live here, I wouldn't get much in the way of avocados trying to buy from local farmers. So I have to buy some that came from somewhere else. But stay as local as you can. And that's my lecture for today. Now we're back to questions. What do you want to see videos on? Don Quixote. Don, I don't know. Um, Before the 2008 recession, land right here around me, over an acre and under, say, 10 to 15 acres, was bringing 10,000 an acre. I know it went down to about 7,500 because of the 2008 recession. I don't think it's recovered that much. I'm guessing about $7,000 to $8,000 an acre. That's just off the top of my head guess. I bought this place in 2002. I intend to die right here. No time soon, but I intend to die right here. So I don't care what property values are. Um, my place could be worth a dime. It could be worth $1 million. Doesn't matter. It's not for sale either way, so I don't much care. Let's see. No, food back in the day. Food was food back then. It didn't come from as far away either. Um, what we eat on the East Coast in the way of fruits and vegetables, most of it comes from two places. Now, we produce a fair amount down here in the South. Um, there's not a lot produced up north in the way of fruits and vegetables except for home gardeners or homesteaders. The bigger farmers up there tend to be raising cattle, or they tend to be producing milk or something like that. There's not a lot. I mean, well, I'll take that back. Corn in New York, but all corn is GMO. I mean, everything. If you see an ear of corn in a grocery store, it's probably a Monsanto GMO seed that produced that ear of corn, period. In any grocery store, anywhere in the United States. And when you get past that stuff, most of our fruits and vegetables come from California, number one, and come from South America. Have you ever wondered why you can buy asparagus year round? You can buy asparagus year round, and it's not priced that bad. Mainly because it's the third time you've bought that asparagus. Yeah, when you buy asparagus in the store, it's the third time you've paid for it, especially in the winter, like right now. The first time you pay for that bunch of asparagus is the money that the United States government gives to farmers in Chile to grow asparagus instead of poppies for drugs. That's the first time you bought that bunch of asparagus. You paid that farmer to grow it instead of drugs. The second time you buy that bunch of asparagus is when the United States government pays the freight to ship that asparagus that that farmer down there grew instead of poppies. The United States government covers the shipping costs to get that asparagus here to the States and into the supermarkets. And then the third time you pay for that asparagus is when you walk to the supermarket and go over there and get a bunch of asparagus. That's why you can buy asparagus year round. I'm right here in Georgia. No place is growing asparagus right now. I've got a dormant bed out there right now. 60 asparagus plants. It's not going to be producing any asparagus for, I don't know, 4 months, 5 months. And then it'll be a fairly short season, but you can buy asparagus year round, and now you know why. Let me get back over here. Shane, most farmers eat what they grow as well, except, let me tell you all a story. May have told you this before. There's a place that produces feed, non-GMO feed. All their feed is non-GMO. It's about 60 miles from me, up north of me. And I used to buy my feed there. I can get it from a place closer now. But I used to buy my feed up there. I'd buy it by the ton. And I'd go up there to get it. And I was in there one day, and the girl in the office was busy, a couple other customers ahead, and I wasn't in a big hurry. And y'all know from my videos I can talk and talk and talk and talk. And there's no fella in there in bib overalls, probably 75, 80 years old. And he was just sitting there. You could tell he was a local and just is a place to go sit and talk. And I got talking to him and told him, it's pretty obvious you're a farmer. He said, mostly retired farmer. I said, well, what kind of farming? He said, well, I used to row crop, but he said, now I've got 3 chicken houses. And I raise chickens for bleep. I'm not going to say the name of the company because I don't feel like getting sued. One of the big companies. He said, I raise chickens for one of the big companies. I said, okay, you raise layers or you raise fryers? Because if you raise layers, they bring you 50,000 chicks that you put in the house, and then when they get old enough to start laying, they come get them and take them and go put them in laying houses that another farmer has and bring you 50,000 more chicks. If you raise layers, they bring you chicks and you grow them, fryers, they bring you chicks and you grow them till they're big enough to slaughter, to sell to the public, and they pick those up and take them to the chicken plant and bring you more chicks. And he said, I raise meat birds. Oh, okay. And just just making conversation off the top of my head. I said, well, with that many meat birds around, I'm sure you're never wanting for chicken. He stopped. He looked at me. He got real serious. He said, son, now, this isn't but about 3 years ago. I was in my 60s. He said, son, let me tell you something. He said, there's not a damn thing comes out of those chicken houses that I would eat. He said, I take care of those chickens. He said, I'm a contract. He said, I'm an employee in a factory. I just happen to own the physical plant. I own the factory. I lease it to the chicken company, and they pay me to raise their chickens. I'm a factory worker. And I'll tell you right now, I know everything that goes into those chickens. I wouldn't take a bite of a damn thing comes out of my chicken houses. Nothing. He said, my wife and I have a yard flock, different breed of chickens than they have, that we keep totally separate, and we feed separate, and we feed them like they should be fed. Those are the chickens we eat, and those are the chickens whose eggs we'll eat. But he said, that stuff out there in my chicken houses, I wouldn't take one bite of it. That's what you're buying in the grocery store, people. Let's see. Lord, Sonny, don't burn dinner. Come back and see us every Sunday at 6 o'clock. And also, I do other videos. I mean, it's not just the live stream every week. If you look at my channel, I do other videos. And if you're not a subscriber, I'd appreciate you subscribing. If you ring that little bell on after you hit the subscribe button, it'll notify you whenever I put up a new video, and it'll notify you 30 minutes before this live stream. But I really appreciate you coming by. I don't thank y'all enough, all of you. I don't thank y'all enough for coming and listening to me ramble. Sometimes for 20, 30 minutes, and sometimes, like today, we just went over an hour. You never can tell how long it's going to be. But appreciate you coming by, Sonny, and we'll see you next time. Let's see. Lynn, you're leaving too? Oh my. You have a great week, Lynn. Put up some good videos so I can laugh at your jokes this week. 3,000 an acre. Lord, I wish land was 3,000 an acre. There's 7 acres right up here above me, attached to me. It's on the other side of my property line. I really wish I could get hold of that and $3,000 an acre. He won't sell. He's also my backyard neighbor. He's got 14 acres over there, and he bought this 7 acres just so nobody could build close to him. You couldn't get that property away from him for $100,000 an acre. but I'd love to have it. I'd be producing more pigs, growing more pigs out for meat and selling the meat if I had that much land. Let's see. Bobby, I've only gotten one box, okay? That's the first box, and that was just this past week. I think I got it on Wednesday. I should get my second box, not this coming Wednesday, because it's a subscription, and I set it up for every 2 weeks. That way I'll be able to see, do I want it every week or every other week? Do I want that size box or the bigger box? Do I want to cancel it because it's junk? Here in about 10 days, I'll get my second box. I'll be doing another video and be able to tell you a little bit better, yeah, it's worth it, or no, don't do it. But if you do decide you want to subscribe to it, down there to the description below the video is a link. No, there's a URL to the website, and then there's a link, not a link. There's a discount. There's a discount code right below the link, and if you'll use that discount code when you check out your first box, I think you get 25% off or something like that. But you might want to wait until I get my second box, and let's make sure that it's really as good as it seems to be so far. So far, it's been good. There's a couple things in there that I did not recognize, like the bok choy. I've never cooked with bok choy. I know I've eaten it before because I love Chinese food, but I've never cooked with bok choy. Several of the people in here, after that video came out, told me what it was. And that, by the way, nobody told me anything about that squash. That weird little squash in there that I had the sticker on it and I was able to tell you the name of it. From what I read, treat it like a butternut squash. Split it in half, scoop the seeds out, and then, because it's not real big, it's only about, hang on a second, I'll show you how big it is. It happens to be right over here. Here it is. And it is a delicata squash. Delicata. And from what I've read, split it in half horizontally, scoop the seeds out, and then you'll have just half of it and just bing, 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 bing. A little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and roast it. It's supposed to be really good. I don't know if this was in the box because it's really supposed to be bigger, and this one was a weird size. It's the only one I've ever seen, so I don't know. But from what I could find online, that's the best thing to do with this. It's not real big. It would be, if you only had half of it and two of you were eating it, you took a half for one, half for the other, that would be a small vegetable side dish. But it's supposed to be really good. It's supposed to be really nutritious. I've never heard of it before. Let's see. Oh, this squash is good to eat, Bobby? You've had delicata squash? Everything I read about it, it's supposed to be really, really good. I'd never heard of it. I'd never seen it before. I got it out of the box and what in the heck is that? Now I know. And by next week, I will have eaten it. And if y'all remember to ask me, I'll tell you what I think of it. Since you've seen that before, Bobby, is this small? They sell weird stuff. They sell the stuff that won't make it in the grocery store because it looks funny or whatever. What is wrong with this one? Is this too small? Is it supposed to be bigger? Just from looking at it on the outside, can you see why this would be in a box like that full of the stuff that doesn't make it in the grocery store? Do you have any idea what the problem is? Cool. I love butternut squash. Uh, Try as much as possible, and it's hard to do because my stepdaughter is a bit of a picky eater. She loves carbs. Oh my God, she loves carbs. She would eat a steady diet of potatoes. Loves mashed potatoes. Um, my preference, part of it's health wise, and part of it's just my preference. My palate likes it better. Um, I like sweet potatoes. Any place you would normally use potatoes, I like sweet potatoes. And I love butternut squash. But God, you can't afford, as much as we go through a straight substitution, substituting butternut squash for um, potatoes cost me a fortune. But butternut squash, I like. Good healthy food. Sweet potatoes are good healthy. Sweet potatoes. Do y'all buy many sweet potatoes? They were 38 cents a pound back at Thanksgiving. And I almost bought a bunch because they keep so good. I almost bought a bunch, but that day when I was in the store, I was in a hurry. And I got, I don't know, 6, 8 pounds. That was all. I figured, I can come back because if they're on sale for Thanksgiving, they'll be on sale for Christmas. Well, they weren't on sale for Christmas. They're 60 had gone from 38 cents a pound to 68 cents a pound. Well, the other day we're just about out, and the other day I was in the store, and figured, well, okay, 68 cents a pound. I wish it was 38, but we need some. I'll get a bunch. $1.18 a pound for sweet potatoes. Is that normal for where y'all are living? Let's see. What am I missing? Comes in all sizes. Mary Grace, butternut squash is not that hard to grow. If I wasn't changing, because I've had a garden growing the normal garden stuff, the squashes, the peas, the tomatoes, I've had that. I don't really have much garden space, and I'm having to prioritize it for stuff that will generate money for the homestead, which is why, I mean, I've got 2.5 acres. It's mostly woods. I'm having to prioritize it for stuff that'll make money for the homestead, which is why I'm doing the arugula and kale and baby radishes and things like that, and the microgreens. So squash won't fit into my plan now, but I've grown butternut squash. They grow fine. Well, you got your soil right, well amended soil and everything. Butternut squash is not hard to grow, and they are so good, and they keep so well. I had a butternut squash. Okay, back up. When I was building the yurt, a 30-foot travel trailer. That's what I lived in. I had an RV that I had bought just to live in while I built the yurt, and I was going to sell it. Well, I never sold it. It's still sitting out there. And I had bought a butternut squash at the farmer's market. When I moved from the trailer into the yurt, I forgot about the butternut squash. It sat in the trailer for a year and a half. It was in the trailer for about 3 months before I moved from the trailer into the yurt. So we're pushing 2 years on that butternut squash. And I found it. This is going to be no good. Cut it up. It wasn't soft on the side where it was just laying on the ground. It was laying on the carpet in the bedroom, okay? Wasn't soft on the bottom, wasn't squishy. Cut it open, it looked fine. Smelled it, it smelled fine. Well, dang. Scraped the seeds out of it, put some olive oil on it, stuck it in the oven, and had some really, really good butternut squash. 2 years. That stuff keeps amazingly well. You know, Patricia, I try. Are you talking about the upside down potato plants? Potato. Are you talking about upside down tomatoes? I've tried that. Didn't I got a little bit off of them, but didn't have a whole lot of luck. You talking about like you take a 5 gallon bucket, cut a hole in the bottom, fill it full of soil, plant a tomato plant in there, and have it grow. I've tried that, and I got a few tomatoes, but not enough to ever do it again. Might have been me. Maybe other people have probably had luck with it. I didn't. One other thing that everybody should grow is an herb garden. Takes no room, no room at all. I've got a front porch, 5 feet wide, 10 feet long. Got a railing down one side and across the end. On this side, you better not be drunk or you'll fall off because there's no railing. And then out there at the end, there's steps. But this railing and across here, terracotta pots, about 10-inch pots, about 4 of them, between mint and rosemary and, all right, come on, what am I trying to think of? Cilantro, about 6 or 8 herbs out there. You can put 2 in each pot. Some of the pots you can put 3 in. If you've got 4 pots, you can easily be growing 8 to 12 herbs. And when you're about to fix dinner, step out on the front porch with a pair of scissors, snip off what you need, come back in, ready to go. And it'll just keep replenishing itself. I've even had the stuff over winter. Obviously, what I'm trying to think of, I just said it. Looks like a pine tree. Come on, folks, help me out. Had rosemary. That's what I was trying to think of. Rosemary over winters just keeps going. I've had cilantro. Thought it was done. End of the season, shriveling up, cold weather coming. Next spring, come back without me planting any. Let's see. That's a good move, Mary Grace. Plant the stuff that takes up a lot of space on the compost pile, and then you don't worry about it. Of course, then it's hard to get compost without disturbing the plant if you need compost for something else. That's a good move, Mary Grace. A lot of folks way back interplanted a lot, and that's a good, efficient way to produce. It's not efficient if you're trying to produce a lot and come harvest time, it's not real efficient because you're having to be so careful about your other plants. But if you're just growing for yourself, for your own larder and your own family, interplanting with flowers and with other stuff was a fantastic idea. Yeah, Mary Grace, rosemary was what I was trying to think of. I drew a I just said it 30 seconds before, and zoom in goes right on through sometimes. No, that's not because I'm 65 years old. I've never had a memory. When I was 10 years old, my mother couldn't believe that I couldn't remember something from one minute to the next. Well, it's been well over an hour at this point, and I guess I've gotten some ideas on what to do videos on, which was one of the things I wanted to do today. And Got to meet some nice new folks. Sonny seemed nice. Bobby, he sounds like he's the type that I'll be at his channel a lot and he'll be at my channel a lot. Bobby, I've got fairly decent soil, not great. I do have to put some, I use ash from the fire, wood ash from the fireplace. Uh, but I've got decent soil. It's not great, but every year it gets a little bit better because so much stuff goes, organic material just keeps getting tilled back into it and starting again. What, Bobby, the book? Sure. If you look down in the description of the video, if it's a hard book, paper book, my physical address, I think, is down there. Let me look. Let's see here. Yep, my physical address is down in the description, and if it's an ebook, my email address is down in the description. So either way, I'm easy to get hold of. Some people are wisely, I'm not knocking them, not understand, but some people are very, very cautious about their personal life, letting people get too close, knowing where they are, and I share my phone number, my address. One of these days, I want to make somebody mad. They're going to have my address to come give me a butt kicking, or try to. But a physical address and my email address is down there in the description. That sounds awesome, Bobby. That does. I'll get that and I'll push it myself if it does a good job. Mary Grace, yeah, but that's just outside your house. You got to drive by to see it. I got it down there in the description for the whole world to see. I don't care. I don't figure anybody's gonna come messing with me anyway. And have I frozen up? I see the chat is still running, but looks like, oh, okay, never mind. When I was trying to scroll to see if my address was down there in the description, I accidentally stopped the video because it's running on the laptop, and it stopped over here, and I thought it had frozen up. We were having connection problems. Well, people, we are approaching an hour and a half, and again, I said this earlier, and I'm going to say it again. I really appreciate y'all stopping by. Folks coming in to watch my videos and watch my live stream. That just means that you're willing to give up a certain amount of time to listen to me run off at the mouth. Today, almost an hour and a half. I really appreciate that. And keep giving me ideas on what you want to see videos on. I don't have any trouble being entertaining. I can talk and tell stories and joke around all day long. And entertaining is half of what I want this channel to be. The other half is I want it to be informative. So, oh, one other thing I was going to ask y'all. The ones that are left, there's 4 left, and it's pretty much, well, it's folks that I know. Yeah, Shane's still on. Oh, gonna wrap it up here pretty shortly though. One other thing that's down in my description is one thing that's down there is my email address. Now, if y'all don't want to, fine, don't. But I think of us as a little community. We're spread all over the place. We're spread from New York, now Ohio, Alabama. I'm in Georgia. Lynn, who left, is out in Texas. But we're a community. If I, Tom, who isn't here tonight, wasn't here last week, but he's been here for everything else, from New York. He was down at Dave and Darcy's over at Two Cedars Micro Farm a few months ago. Then he came over here. If Tom needed help, and I could, I'd help him just like a next door neighbor. If I needed help and he could, he'd help me just like a next door neighbor. Dave and Darcy, Jim and Mary Grace, I have no doubts that if any of us had a problem and they had the means to help with the problem, they would. We're a community. I'd like to know how to get hold of all of y'all. Not because I'm going to call and ask for help, but I've got Tom's number. I've got Mary Grace's address, but I want to be able to call y'all and say, hey, have you heard from so-and-so? Or so-and-so was sounding a little bit down. And I know you and he talk a lot when we're on a live stream. Why don't you give him a call or, just whatever. If y'all, basically what I'm doing is I'm saying, if y'all don't care, and I won't share it with anybody unless you tell me I can. If y'all don't care, use my email address. Send me an email. What your Google name is, so I'll know. Because if you're Kinfolk Farmer Georgia, I happen to know that's Shane. But if all you are, if I didn't know that was Shane, and I just got one saying, "Hi, this is Shane's phone number," I wouldn't know who that was. In Shane's case, I do. But email me y'all's phone number and maybe even your mailing address. You never can tell. I might decide that all my regulars get a bag of peanuts. Need a mailing address to send them to. I don't know. But I just think of us as a community, and community needs to be able to connect with each other. And when you send me your email address, when you send me your phone number, I'll send you mine back. I've got one person on here who has my phone number. Well, Tom does. But there's one other regular that has my phone number that is having some problems similar to mine. And we've talked on the phone a few times. It's nice to be able to have somebody as a sounding board. I know when almost a year and a half ago now, when I was first diagnosed with cancer, that was what I wanted more than anything in the world. I wanted to be able to talk to somebody else that had cancer, that had my kind of cancer, and tell me from a personal perspective what I could expect, what was coming. And can't do that if you don't have telephone numbers, and if other people don't have your number. So if y'all don't care, if y'all would email me your phone numbers, I'll email you mine back and make just a little bit tighter community. We're a pretty good community now. We got the same group here every week. It gets a little bit bigger every week, like Bobby McNutt this week. But it gets a little bit bigger each week, and the tighter the community is, the more it can help each other. So if y'all would do that, I'd really appreciate it. And I'm going to wrap it up for the night. It's one more minute and we're at an hour and a half. So I think that's about long enough. I'm amazed y'all will listen to me for an hour and a half. But as always, if you like it, give me a thumbs up. I've got 10 thumbs ups already. I didn't know we'd even had 10 people in here at any point. If you're not subscribed, I think everybody is. If you're not subscribed, if you're sitting there in the background, you're watching, you hadn't said anything in chat, we don't even know you're there, and you hadn't subscribed, hit that subscribe button down there. And when you hit, I got to do this. You know I got to do this. You know I've got to do this. When you hit the subscribe button, be sure you ring that little bell so you get notifications. And just have a great week. Have a really fantastic week. And all of your regulars, well, except for Bobby, so you've all heard it before. You'll hear it again. You're going to hear it tonight. You'll hear it every time I do a video. Remember, those awesome, fantastic, tremendous days and weeks are not easy, but they are so, so simple to have. All you got to do is two things. Just remember. You don't even have to do anything. All you got to do is remember. The tomb was empty, and he is alive. I will see y'all next week, unless I see you in a video before then. Have a great one.